Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because today's story might completely change the way you look at the coins sitting quietly in your drawer, your garage, or even your old toolbox. Especially if you are a man between 35 and 65 or older, someone who has worked hard, saved carefully, and understands the value of money. This is for you. Take a moment and picture this. It's 2002. The world was different. Technology wasn't ruling every second of our lives. Cash was still king. You could walk into a shop, place a few coins on the counter, and walk out with something tangible. Among those coins was a simple piece of metal from South Africa, the 10-cent coin, minted in 2002. Most people saw it as nothing more than small change, something that rattled in your pocket, something you handed over without thinking. But what if I told you that one of those very coins could carry a story far bigger than its size? A story of history, rarity, timing, and opportunity. A story that connects to patience, awareness, and knowing what others overlook. Now listen carefully. The South Africa 10-cent coin from 2002 may look ordinary at first glance. It was part of everyday circulation. It was made for practical use. But coins are more than metal. They are pieces of a nation's identity. They represent leadership, economy, design evolution, and minting precision. Each detail stamped into that surface carries meaning. The early 2000s were a period of economic transition in many parts of the world, including South Africa. Currency production was carefully calculated. Mintages were determined by demand, inflation, and economic activity. And sometimes, in the process of mass production, something unusual happens. A variation, a minting error, a low production batch, a detail slightly different from the standard release. Most people never notice, but collectors do. Serious collectors, especially men who have spent decades understanding value, whether in property, business, tools, watches, or vehicles, know that true worth often hides in plain sight. It's not about flashy appearances. It's about scarcity, condition, and story. Let's break this down. A standard 2002 South Africa 10-cent coin in circulated condition is usually just worth its face value. That's what 99% of people believe. That's why they spend it without hesitation. But the 1%, the observers, check the year carefully. They examine the edges. They study the strike quality. They compare weight and alignment. They look for anomalies. Why? Because certain batches from specific years can carry significantly higher value due to limited mint runs or production inconsistencies. Sometimes a die crack appears. Sometimes the alignment between obverse and reverse shifts slightly. Sometimes the metal composition varies within a very small margin. These small differences, invisible to the average eye, can transform a common coin into a collector's target. Now think about this. How many times in your life have you handled coins without looking twice? How many jars of change have you collected over the years? How many times have you cleaned out your car and tossed the coins into a container? If you're between 35 and 65 or older, you have lived through decades of currency changes. You've seen designs evolve. You've watched old notes disappear. You've probably even kept a few coins just in case. That instinct, that feeling of holding on to something, sometimes pays off. The 2002 10-cent coin has specific characteristics that collectors examine carefully. The design reflects South Africa's post-apartheid era identity. The imagery and typography were carefully chosen. The metal composition and diameter were standardized, but within those standards, slight variations occurred depending on mint conditions. And here's where things become interesting. In the world of coin collecting, condition is king. A coin that has never been circulated, that has no scratches, no fading, no wear on the edges, is dramatically more valuable than one that passed through thousands of hands. The grading scale ranges from poor to mint state. And within mint state, the differences are microscopic but financially powerful. Now imagine a 2002 10-cent coin preserved in near-perfect condition, stored carefully, untouched by the wear of daily transactions. That alone raises its profile. But combine that with a rare mint variation, and suddenly you are no longer talking about spare change. You are talking about an asset. Men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s understand assets. They understand appreciating value. They understand that sometimes the smartest investments are the ones nobody notices at first. There's something powerful about holding a small object that carries hidden potential. It reminds us that value isn't always loud. Sometimes it's silent. Sometimes it waits. And let's talk psychology for a moment. Why do certain coins become valuable? It's not only rarity. It's demand. It's the number of collectors searching for that exact year, that exact strike, that exact imperfection. When supply is low and demand is high, the price rises. It's basic economics. The same principle applies to real estate, classic cars, and vintage watches. But coins have an advantage. They are small. They are easy to store. And most importantly, they are often overlooked. The 2002 South Africa 10-cent coin exists in millions of copies. That's true. But within those millions, only a tiny fraction may possess the unique characteristics collectors fight over. The challenge is identifying which is which. What should you look for? First, examine the year carefully. Ensure it is clearly stamped as 2002. Fading numbers reduce value, but a sharp, well-defined date is a good sign. Second, inspect the edges. Are they smooth and consistent? Any unusual ridges? Any misalignment between front and back? Third, look at the shine and surface texture. A coin that retains its original mint luster is far more desirable. Fourth, compare it with images of standard versions. Subtle differences in lettering thickness or spacing can indicate a variation. Now I know what some of you are thinking. This is just a 10-cent coin. How much could it really be worth? That's the exact mindset that keeps valuable coins hidden in plain sight. History is full of examples where ordinary items became extraordinary because people ignored them at first. Think about the satisfaction of discovering something rare in your own possession. Not because you bought it at an auction, not because someone handed it to you as an investment, but because you were aware, because you paid attention. There's pride in that. And for many men in the 35 to 65 plus age group, pride in knowledge and awareness is powerful. It's not about luck. It's about observation, discipline, patience. The global coin market has grown significantly over the past decades. Collectors from different continents search for specific years and variations. South African coins have attracted international attention, especially those connected to transitional economic periods or limited mint outputs. The 2002 10-cent coin sits within a time frame that interests collectors due to production shifts and evolving mint standards. That alone places it on the radar. Add